Welcome back to yet again a new race in Sunday Night Skippy League USF 2000 Championship. It's race 3. We have done the road circuit at Tsukuba. We had an oval at Charlotte, and today we take the race to a roval. This race brought to you by KVK Racing Network. My name is Pimlet, and of course I need the help of my co-commentator Peter Lee. Peter, there's a rumor that you had some personal lessons from our first race winner, Greg Seitz. What have you learned?
Oh, Pim, it's so great to be here, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's race. You know, this for people that know about the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, you probably know that this is a stop for NASCAR, and you think of this as an oval, but as you said, we're here on the road course with the South Oval. And Pim, you and I joined Rust Racing's practice session on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
We had a chance to really sink our teeth into the track. And you're right. During the pair-up session, I got paired with Rust Racing's leader, Greg Seitz, and he taught me a tremendous amount. You know, it's a little nerve-wracking to have Greg, looming big in your mirrors, but he was just really teaching me a lot about the track. And I have to say, what a wonderful track for this car. I think they're really well matched. The track really shows off what this car can do. It's fun. It's dangerous. There are good passing opportunities. I think we're going to see some great racing.
And what is the thing that you learned about this circuit? What are you doing different right now?
Well, one thing that is so important in this car is to really control turn-in to the apex through careful trail braking. And so there are several turns here where that is so important and where real patience is required. The course starts off, on the oval, and then after you go around the south end of the oval, you end up exiting oval into the road course section. And that first turn to get into the road course section is a hairpin that, if you get the braking wrong, if you're a little impatient with throttle, you can either understeer and plow right through the turn and miss the apex, or, overpower and oversteer and just spin on the exit. And so that'll be one place, Pim, that you and I will have to watch really closely. And then to re-enter the oval, which is turn 11, is another tricky spot. It's somehow the car almost doesn't like the adjustment of going off the oval and then onto the oval. And so that's another place where I think the patience is rewarded, and every driver is going to really want to be really precise and careful for the entire race.
All right. I see that qualification is started. So let's have a look at that.
Yep. So each driver gets 10 minutes, and they have 10 minutes to take an out lap and then 2 laps to set a time. This is fairly important, but not so crucial because the race format is first to have an initial heat of 15 minutes, and then the finishing order of that heat then determines the reverse grid order for the 35-minute feature. And in that 35-minute feature, fuel is limited to these cars, so that would require every car to make at least one stop for fuel.
All right. We're currently looking with Rafael Bofil. He has already started his first lap.
Yeah, and so here you see Rafa is in the road course section. And as he moves around, we see one of the first tricky sections as he re-enters the oval, and now starts his first flying lap. And now this is the South Oval. This turn requires a little bit of a lift. There's not much banking, and so it's a little bit of bravery to get back on the throttle there. And now a prime passing zone for this hairpin that gets into the technical road section. And Pim, you and I really struggled with that turn, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But I do have to say the help of Greg really was. You can cut quite a bit of in that corner 3.
Yes. And now, as you come up to the crest of this hill, the car gets a little bit light, and so you need super patience here as you slide down the hill to go through a little bit of a shallow chicane to re-enter the oval. And again, another tough spot where Pim, I spent a lot of time with swapped ends.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. He goes over the line right now, and I see that he comes actually onto the top with an 1:00.8 or 08 even. So I don't think
Excellent
that's the
time.
final time. Yeah, it's a good time, especially if you compare that to VRS. I was just looking at it. It's Julian Dunn, who actually is an F3 champion, who drove an 59.2. And I will tell you, I expect that there are going to be people that are going to be faster than VRS, just to give an image of what this track does with our field.
Yeah, I would be surprised if more than a few of these drivers actually get even into the 58s, which is just unimaginably fast in this car.
Yeah, we see now currently Mitchell Green already out. It's one of the team Russ that is already out. The rest is waiting. What do you expect from him?
Well, I think Mitch Green has to be considered one of the favorites here. Along another Rust Racing driver. He was super fast in the Tuesday night practice session. Another person who I think we'll want to keep an eye out for near the top would be David McDonald. Adam Wright from Sunday Night Skippy, Skippy
exactly.
Specialist.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
definitely.
showing just, yeah.
That's my name for tonight. I think Adam has shown pace on the road, has shown pace on the oval, was very consistent, and I think that's going to work out quite nicely, right, with in this track where you have a combination up here.
You know, Pim, it's interesting also because this connects to one of the big discussions that happened on the Sunday Night Skippy League Discord this week, which is the debate between, is it better to specialize in one car or to try to improve evenly or equally across multiple cars. And I think every person is different, but Adam is definitely one of these polymaths.
Yeah, no. Adam does everything, and he does it really well. That's also the last season has definitely been on pace over here. I see that there's still some people who didn't put up a time, which surprises me.
Yeah, I think some folks like to wait to see what times are being put up and then go out late. It's these are only 1 minute laps, and so with almost 5 minutes still remaining in qualifying, there's plenty of time. We're seeing more people. Ray Bartnikowski has set a very fast time at 59.7. Thor Tullo is near that time at 1 minute 0.5, along with David McDonald. And we have Rich Butler, Gherkin Demir, Mike Bowers, Carl Dronke, and Greg Seitz still looking to set times.
All right, so everything is still possible. I'm quite curious about Carl Dronke because he was also he's always quick. Seen the last race of Sunday and Sunday Night Skippy, he was again in the top 5. Always love how he drives. It's a very nice driver to look at.
Yes, boy, he is blazing fast, and Carl is one of those drivers, Pim, that I think just scares the heck out of us when we see him in our mirrors.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm surprised. I don't see Mike Bowers actually a top 3 driver in Sunday Night Skippy. I don't see him out yet. I don't see Carl out yet. We have Greg Seitz. Let's drive with Greg. We expect a lot from him. Is he going to go into those 58s?
Well, the track is pretty hot at 119 degrees Fahrenheit, and so it's probably feeling pretty slick for these guys. These slick racing slicks that the USF 2000 car has do come up to temperature pretty fast. So I think it really only takes really one good hard lap to get tires up to temp, and so I think the lap to watch here for Greg is his second lap.
Well, that's where he's going to go over the finish line right now. We're driving along with him, coming onto that oval. And this is just, he keeps going.
Interesting, you can see he shifted down to fourth gear in that oval. And, that's a sign that his tires are probably still not quite up to temp.
It's also nice to see when he goes uphill that you really don't see that corner yet coming. You have to trust where it is.
That turn 5 that he just went through is beautifully cambered or even banked. And so it's almost like a little bit of a roller coaster ride through there.
That's right. We do see that Greg has set the two sectors now the fastest time. So I'm curious if he immediately comes over on first position.
Then now this exit onto the oval is super important because you have this long straight. And so it's really important that you hit that exit perfectly.
Yeah, and you see now he goes to fourth again. So it means his tires are still not up to temperature.
But he did set time in the 58s on his first timed flying lap at 58.96.
So that's already 0.3 seconds quicker than VRS. The data where we all look at on how to improve. Well, this time we're going to look at Greg's sides. I think we made a right choice to go to his practice sessions. I do have to say what I really liked about Greg was also that he shared his setup with everybody who was there. And he's very willing to teach everybody.
Oh, I think Rust Racing and all of the drivers here have been a great addition to the Sunday Night Skippy League. I think everyone's really trying to help each other. I think it's just a fantastic add to the whole community.
Right, so Greg could make an improvement. Is now 58.59.
Fantastic time.
Yeah. He's just driving back to the pits. It's his first mission, but how is the race gonna go? Is it again with a lot of yellows? What do you expect?
Well, I think we will probably see some incidents because, especially if you're under pressure, turns 3, turn 11, exceptionally dangerous turns. Even turn 12, I think can catch people out. And so, I think people will want to be careful, especially in Heat 1. You do score points in both Heat 1 and in the feature, so you want to finish well in both.
Peter, the grid is there, so let's have a quick look at that. We see Greg Seitz on the first position, as expected with that 58.5. So that's a really good time, but Mark McDonald is quite nicely behind it. Definitely a good chance to beat Greg Seitz on there. And then on third place, Mitchell Green, our last winner of last race in the Oval. Adam Wright on position number 4. My bet is on him, so really wish him luck. And then number 5, Ray Bartnikowski. He keeps being on that just after the podium. I think he's growing quite quickly on this.
Oh, Ray is showing real speed and real potential. I think he's had a little bit of misfortune with contact and incidents. I think if he can keep it clean here, he has a great chance to finish on the podium.
Yeah, this is definitely. It's going to be nice to see all these cars. We do only have 13 cars currently on the grid, so that's a little bit less than last time on the oval. So maybe also a little bit more room for each other. I see that Mike Bowers and Carl Dronke start on the end. Is that a tactic, or what do you think is happening over there?
Well, it's the Heat 1 is set by qualifying times. It does score points, but it doesn't score as many points as the feature. And the feature will reverse grid based on the finishing order in Heat 1. So, I think they're just wanting to stay out of trouble and keep things safe and hope for a decent finish in Heat 1 in order to set them up for the feature.
Yeah, Peter, I see the pace cars going off, so we're going to have one lap of warming tires and making sure that we're all close for that start. Just to have a quick look, maybe it's good to have a look at the championship. Currently, Mitchell Green is with 86 points the leader. Adam Wright on second spot, 77 points. And Greg Seitz on 66 points. Was really had a good start, but his second race was a little bit disappointed with a 15th spot. So that's our podium. But basically everybody's very close to each other. So I think this race will really show us where we're gonna go with this championship and who are gonna be our favorites.
Yeah, it's super interesting also just when you think about the season, the way it started. This is race 3, but we started on a tight technical road course, then moved to a super speedway oval with 24-degree banking, and now we're on a combined technical oval and technical road course, and so that's real variety.
It's beautiful to see the cars going so closely together. Love those paint schemes. And here we are, we're getting ready for our real start. You see them lining up. That pace car should go in right now. And it does, and then immediately they go side by side, two by two. Onto that first oval.
Now there is a draft effect, on this oval section, so it can help you, stay in contact. But no real passing opportunities. But now here we come to the first.
Look at Adam, spot. Saving that position on third one, holds it, and can really hold those two guys back. That's a nice one, nice move. Seems all very clean.
Yeah, it looks good. And, we'll come up to the crest of the hill and now back down the hill to re-enter and get to the oval section. And here we have our second kind of risky technical section.
It's funny to see that in the beginning they were all side by side, and it's already now one big line.
And so here we're already starting to see a couple of packs form. There's the top 6 of Greg Seitz, Mark McDonald, Adam Wright, Mitch Green, David McDonald, and Ray Bartnikowski. And they're starting to pull out a little bit of a gap to Rafa Bofil, Thor Tullo, and Gurkan Demir, who are battling for P7. And then that's followed by Rich Butler and Thomas Fotos in Ps 10 and 11. Tim, I'm impressed that everyone's kept it clean and on the track so far, and this is pretty impressive. They are driving within themselves. They're running maybe about 3 or 4 seconds slower than qualifying times, and so obviously everyone's really trying to keep it clean on the track.
Well, that works quite nicely. We see that Greg is now in the lead. There's nearly a second. When is the draft actually stopping? Do you know that?
The draft effect is not quite as strong. You don't feel it as much as you do in the Skip Barber Formula 2000 car. What I found is that if I was within a second, I was able to keep up with the faster car in front of me, but not really make up ground. So it seemed like about a 1 second gap. You had the draft effect, but not a very strong one.
All right. Well, we see that Mark is trying to hold that, and that's working quite nicely for him. If we look on the track map, we do clearly see a big group in the front, and then some people behind there.
It looks like someone has had an issue. Mark McDonald appears to have spun and possibly damaged the car. He's falling to the end of the field.
Well, let's have a look what happened over there, because I totally missed that. He was going over finish line. I don't see any troubles coming up. I think we're looking at the wrong person. Let's go back to the live section. We suddenly see that Greg Seitz is taking a big lead. 2.8 seconds already from Mitchell Green.
Yes, I think whatever issue happened with Mark McDonald, I think caused Mitch Green to lift and evade, and so I think that's accounting for the gap that Greg has now opened up, which appears to be now about 2.8 seconds.
Yeah, so how does that look for Mitchell? He's having David McDonald and Ray Bartnikowski right behind him. I love that this view. You really see that David is coming closer in that corner, but then he pulls away again when he goes uphill.
You know, Pim, back in P9, Rich Butler and Thomas Photos just had an issue leaving the oval in turn 3, and it's looking a little bit, looks like they are not damaged, and Thomas Photos is back on his way, and Rich Butler is as well.
Yeah, we were just looking at it. Rich Butler, I think he just was a little bit too hard in the brakes, and now he has issues with a cone that's stuck. So he has to shift that off as well, and then he can actually keep on driving. So that's the good thing. I don't think there were much damage going on.
No. And, you know, it's exactly what we were talking about during qualifying, Pim. You know, that turn 3, you know, where you're leaving the oval, you know, you have to get the braking just right. You know, if you get it wrong, you'll either understeer on entry or oversteer on exit.
Seeing here David McDonald trying to hold off.
Yeah, that's quite a battle between Mitch Green and David McDonald. It'll be interesting to see if David can get close enough to try to set up a pass as they get around this oval, and you know, in that turn 3 is sort of one of the prime, you know, braking zones, just with hard braking. So as they come down this back straight, hard brake right here, and looks like he'll have to be patient and continue to wait to set that up.
Yeah, I did see that while we were talking that Adam Wright has passed Ray. I'm curious how that went, because there was a big gap over there. Oh, we can see that Ray made a small mistake, but can keep his car completely safe, and for Adam a free spot to take. Always good to have that.
Yep. Well, and again, we were just talking about that. I think Ray has all the speed to be a top 3 finisher here, and you know, it's maybe just a little bit more experience in the car, and he'll have the consistency to do that.
Yeah, while we're still looking with David McDonald and Mitchell Green really fighting for that second position, becomes a little bit of an island. Too far for Greg, but also Adam Wright and Ray Bartnikowski are really fighting to come back. But I will. It's a big gap already. It's 4 seconds. We're halfway through in that first heat.
Yes. And of course, you know, the finishing order here does result in points. But what's interesting is if Greg Seitz, you know, keeps it clean and holds on and finishes first in this heat, he'll start or grid in last place for the feature.
Yeah.
Which will be fun to watch. Really fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's going to be a challenge to really then also make that speed, because we saw that in the practice race as well. It's difficult to really pass a lot of people. But you can see up here that David Mitchell is, David McDonald is making a move, and he's on that inside. So he can take that spot quite easily, because it's really difficult to defend here on the oval.
Yes, you definitely want to be on the inside there. Now, as they come down to turn 3, you know, it's interesting whether you want to be in the inside or the outside here. It looks like they'll go nose to tail. But, you know, you can try to go and pass on the outside on turn 3 so that you can have the inside position coming up on this carousel.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much rocket power for me, to be honest. I was just glad to follow some people. Let's have a quick look at the fight of position number 7 with Gurkan Demir and Rafael Bofill. Because they're also getting to know each other a little bit better. I think Rafael's really getting comfortable in this car. It's great to see that he's moving from that skip and now he's in that USF car. And does a really good job. Is really getting closer to Gurkan. I'm curious if he can make a move here onto the oval.
It's super interesting. Looks like he did get a good run on this exit, and I think applying pressure like this is super important. And there is time left. There's still more than 5 minutes left in the race in this first heat.
All right, so this is where it comes.
Yes.
What's up? And this is where Rafael takes it easy. He could have done it on the sideway, but he wants to survive. And he's going to follow Gurkan. I don't think he's gonna overtake him right now. Let's have a quick look at Dorthula with Ray Bartnikowski. Ray got his car back up running. I don't think he's have any troubles up here. And Thor is quite close in following him.
This is another turn right here where you just need some patience. You get really antsy because you want the maximum possible speed on the exit onto the oval. I think for both you and me, Pim, we always struggle to maintain that kind of patience, don't we?
Oh yeah. I'm not sure if you saw my restart in the practice race, but that was the best. I crashed one lap later. I think, but that's also something with Thor up here, number 6 position. It's his second race. Last race he ended really well. I think it was like position 5 or something.
Right. Well, I think these are the two battles between Ray Bartnikowski and Thor Tullo for P5, and then right behind them, Gurkan Demir and Rafa Bofill battling for P7. Meanwhile, Greg Seitz has now opened up a 5.7 second lead on David McDonald at number 2, and Mitch Green running about 2 seconds behind that in P3.
All right, Peter, let's have a quick look with Greg. Let the master show us. What is he doing up here? Because we're driving along with him. He goes really close to the track. Take this corner really to the inside, and then immediately
beautiful late
goes.
apex.
Yeah.
Right up here, boy, the car gets so lightweight. You're just cresting over the hill, and the level of patience. Greg taught me to just really be so patient with the throttle there.
I would like to know who put that bump over there, because that's ridiculous. The same thing as here. Can you guys in New Hampshire not make a road, or what's up?
Oh, it looks like Rich Butler has had an issue. It looks like he has now crashed his car in turn 3.
All right, do we want to see that, or is it... I love his paint scheme, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like a Batman version. Oh, I think he's doing donuts. But again, he keeps his car clean. So he can just continue. That's a good start.
Yeah,
right,
no damage. I had feared when I saw him at the wall that he had bent his car, but he didn't.
No, he saved it quite nicely. We're looking here with Mitchell Green. In the far, he sees David McDonald, but that is really 2.3 seconds. And I think that's too much. We're now already on the 13 minutes. We only have 2 minutes left. So that means that we have 3 more laps to go.
Yeah, it really depends a lot on where Greg crosses the start-finish line, but it's looking to me like 2 more laps to go.
All right, I see that Thor Thula has really now set him up quite nicely for Ray. I'm curious if he's going to try it. He should try it over here. We're nearly to the end. We should see something here in turn 3. It's the best position to actually overtake, but he's way too far. It's not going to make that. It needs to be closer.
It is the best battle on the track right at the moment.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that Thor is going to try it. He's when I drive with him in the Skippy, he is always trying. He's never taking it easy.
Yeah, so, he's a fearless driver, and he is not afraid to stick his nose in.
No, and I will say that in the beginning of his SF2 career, that was quite dangerous. But he's been learned very much, and I think he's a very cool driver to drive with. But he's not closer. He's not getting closer. It's still 0.5 seconds.
And Ray, I think it got a little better exit onto the oval there.
And I do want to mention, while we're going into those last laps, that Adam is coming very closely to Mitchell. If you see that, it's certainly 0.6 seconds.
Very interesting. Adam is, he's setting great times. You know, his last lap was actually in the 58, so he is pushing and pushing hard.
Yeah, and under that scary helmet, there's a sweet boy when we see the picture over here. But he looks like he's really gaining a lot. He keeps gaining. I think he's going to try this on the last one.
Yep, Greg Seitz crossed the start-finish line ahead of the clock, so we are on one more lap here.
Mitchell Green went into the pit. Mitchell Green went into the pit. So that means that Adam has taken over that third position. And even Ray and everybody is going to pass him right now. What happened with Mitchell?
That's a very good question.
He just drove the pit.
You wonder if he actually took a gamble on fuel. It's hard to say.
Oh, wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So we're driving along here with Greg. I do have to say, from a Dutch perspective, I love the orange on his car. And he comes here over the finish line, solid.
Beautiful drive by Greg.
And then if you see it, like in 50 minutes, how much time he gained on David, who now comes over the finish line a second, and Adam really closing in there again, and it's number 3. So that's an interesting Greg and Adam on the podium. Ray wins it from Thor. And then we have Gurkendemir with Raphael Bofill, but also Raphael is not going to make that. So that they stay on the same positions, and then we're waiting for Mark McDonald, but I think he's having a problem because Thomas has passed him.
Yeah, it looks like Thomas Photos is set to cross the finish line ahead of Mark McDonald for P8, and then Mark McDonald in P9.
Yeah, Mark McDonald, I just heard that he didn't have any fuel anymore. So that's why he was going off. He took that risk. It was too much. It was too much.
And it'll be interesting, if Mitch Green then had the same.
Yeah, that's got to be
thing. Yep.
That's got to be. They wanted to beat Craig, and that didn't work. It didn't work. Funny. Good to see that. We're waiting
so now we'll move to the feature, 35 minutes, and with fuel restricted, that will require a pit stop. So there's fuel strategy, good consistency over a 35-minute, longer race, not a sprint, and the reversed grid. So we should see a lot of action, especially in the first stint.
We see a couple of drivers on the first spot who are not driving. Carl Dronke has given up in the practice, and he will not be on the first. I think the first guy will be Rich Butler, who has that third position, but will move up to the first spot. That's going to be exciting for Rich as well. Knowing that there's going to be so many fast cars behind him. But it is a good opportunity for him. If he can block some things off and keep safe, it's a good chance to score high. We see Mark McDonald on the 5th position, Thomas Photos on the 6th, Raphael Bofill on number 7. So that's nice to see those. And if we go all the way to the back, then we'll see Greg Seitz, David McDonald and Adam Wright taking these last positions, and they will have to fight up. So, Peter, what do you think? If you look at all this track, you look at the time that we're going to have, who are you going to predict is going to win this race?
Well, it's hard to bet against Mark McDonald, who had that mishap and is getting to start near the front, and so the real question is whether people like David McDonald, Greg Seitz, and Adam Wright will be able to make their way all the way up in 35 minutes to pass someone like Mark McDonald. We're seeing that Mitch Green is in the pits. I don't know if he's planning to start from the pits or if he has some other technical issue.
Oh. Yeah, he's really standing in the pits. We can see that. So that means we're not seeing him back in the race, I assume.
Yeah, it's unclear. He might have decided just as a matter of sportsmanship to start the race from the pits. Just given his low finish in the first heat.
All right, you expect
it'll be
a lot.
interesting if we can interview and investigate this later after the race.
It would be awesome. For everybody who's listening, you're always welcome in the booth. Give us a help on where we are. We're coming onto the oval.
So Pim, you and I have had a lot of debate and discussion about reverse grids. Because it's sometimes a little too nerve-wracking and a little too exciting for us, for drivers like you and me. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, before we do that, let's have a quick look, because I think we're going to start right here. Everybody comes over that line. It's good to see. Butler is taking that first position. Come on, Daredevil. That's the thing. Block him off. Yes. Oh, great. But now it's going to be interesting on that third corner, because people are going to make moves. We see 3 wide.
Very well done by Rich. He defended his position and got it. By the way, I do see Mitch Green did exit the pits, so he started from the pits, and that has to be just a matter of his good sportsmanship.
That's awesome. I see, and while we're talking, I see Rich going off. And we have the family McDonald in front.
It looks like Rich Butler had a spin coming out of turn 11, but he's no worse for wear. Maybe a little bit of a bent front wing, but back on track.
All right, let's have a quick look. We see lots of people fighting here. See Greg Seitz is taking over from Gurken de Meer. He's immediately looking if he can make another spot.
Boy, this group of Adam Wright, Rafa Bofill, Greg Seitz, Ray Bartnikowski, Thortula, and Gurken de Meer, that is an angry swarm of USF 2000 race cars, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like they're getting a lot closer to each other than in the heat. But we're still early. It's 3 laps to go.
Adam Wright is starting to stretch his lead past. And so it's interesting, he's created a little bit of a buffer between him and Greg Seitz.
Yeah, I see that we do have some issues with the timing. I'm not sure what happens. But so we have to talk a little bit more about where the positions are for everybody. We're looking now with Adam Wright, who is on that 4th position.
Yeah, so we have right now Mark McDonald in the lead, David McDonald still close behind him, and then that's followed by Thomas Fotos in P3 and Adam Wright in 4th. And now it does look like Greg Seitz has sort of emerged at the front of that swarm and is running in P5 and trying to catch Adam Wright.
Wow, we're lap 4. He's already on the 5th position. That's amazing.
It is. And then for the battle for P6 is still raging with Rafa Bofill, Ray Bartnikowski, Thortula, and Gurken de Meer. what's helping Greg Seitz right now is Adam Wright has caught Thomas' photos and I think is very gingerly trying to find a way past. But Thomas is pretty fast, so it'll take a little bit of time. Oh, it looks like he's just got him.
While you're talking about it.
Yes. So this could be.
Oh,
really...
look at that. Oh, there goes Thomas. He got a little nudge. They wanted to go side the 2x2 and that didn't work.
Well, I really know what that feels like. I really struggled in that turn 11. Just crossing over the oval. There's something that just upsets the car. You have to be just so patient and gentle with the throttle there.
Right, so we're driving along with Thor. We see Ray and Raphael still up there, and even Greg is inside. If this can be a group that can hang on to Greg, then we can have an interesting thing going on a little bit later.
Behind them, it looks like a really interesting battle between Gurkan Demir and Mitchell Green.
Oh yeah,
in P9.
Side by side, and Mitchell Green can't take that corner, and Gurkan just holds that position very well. Look at that, nicely done. So where is now the next position? Is that already in that on that oval, or do we have to wait for turn 3?
Yeah, I think we have to wait for turn 3. It's just unless the person ahead has really made a mistake entering onto the oval, the next really viable passing opportunity is in the braking for turn 3.
Alright, so Mitchell is setting himself up, but I don't think he's going to make that. So he just keeps behind Gurkan. Gurkan, come on, hold that line. Aye, can't hold that line, and then you see him immediately taking that spot. But Mitchell has a long way to go. He's now on position 8.
So Pim, we were just trying to touch on before our feelings about reverse grids.
Oh.
What are your thoughts about them?
I think there are two groups of people. You have fast people who really enjoy this because they can pass everybody in the first 3 laps and feel awesome about themselves. Or you can be the lap traffic who's just being in front, waiting. Your whole race is about letting people by in a safe way. It's I think two thoughts. I can understand that the fast people like it. I can also understand that it's really good training, but you have to feel confident. And I have to say, with the fast people that I have and my driving skills, that's sometimes difficult.
Yeah. I know for both you and me, when we're new to iRacing, I think it was a little bit too much for us to cope with. But I think we've both come to grips with it, and we have learned a lot. And, in Sunday Night Skippy, in the Skippy Racing League, the Wednesday night and Friday night practice races, of course, use reverse grids. And I think we've gotten a lot out of it, although we've had some rough moments also, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, no. For me, those races are very, very rough. I'll be honest, that's one of my big frustrations, because I would love to drive with these people, really, and fight with them, but it's just too hard. And that's one of the names that I miss right now. It's Decker, Jeffrey Decker, champion of the SNS, was here last race. He's not here right now. It's a big miss what we have.
Yeah, and I think Jeffrey is having some equipment issue with his wheelbase. I think that's getting resolved, and he's on a short trip. But I'm sure we'll see him back on track as soon as he gets that all resolved.
Oh, while we're looking here, we see that David McDonald has taken over Mark McDonald. So that's an interesting fact. But we're here looking together with Greg Seitz, who really has his visor on Adam Wright. And I'm curious, because Adam can defend. Knows a lot about ovals. Yep.
Although you wonder if Adam and Greg can find a way to work together to catch up to the McDonald brothers. It's great to see in P5, Rafa Bofil has worked his way up to P5.
Oh, wow.
He's running
That's
a great
amazing,
race.
Yeah. And when we see this here in the corner, you also really see that David and Mark are not that far away. I definitely think you're right. If Greg and Adam can work together, that 3.5 seconds is definitely possible.
Yes. Looks like Rich Butler has taken his pit stop, and the fueling window is probably just open now, and so we have our first taker.
Yeah, I do have to say I saw him jumping into the pit, so I don't expect that much good coming out of that one. All right, so here it comes. Crack takes that inside. Adam lets him have it. I think they're gonna. Adam is just taking the wise position over here.
Yep.
Tries to follow.
I will bet you that they are trying to work together to catch up to the McDonald brothers. Yeah, it's a classic leapfrogging kind of maneuver. You try to, accelerate each other's times around the oval and allow the leapfrog, and keep doing that, and hopefully make up a little bit of time. And so, right now, Greg and Adam together are running 3.5 seconds behind the McDonald brothers, and so we'll keep a close eye on that gap and see if they continue to work together to make up ground.
Now, while you say that, they're already making ground, so that's interesting to see.
Yep.
So let's have a quick look back at the McDonald's. Do you think they were working together because the distance between them stays 0.7 seconds?
Well, I guess it might take us half a season to learn what the relationship is actually like between these brothers.
I'm not even sure if they're brothers.
Yeah, actually, we should find out.
Yeah, that's maybe that's the quiz tip for this one. Are they brothers? Are they related? And do they know Ronald? That's all my questions that I have for now. But for now, they're taking 1 and 2 quite easily. So when do we expect them to come in? We're now 11 minutes. Is it really going to be on the halfway point, or do we expect any earlier pit stops?
Well, I think my rough calculations says that the window is open now. So, it's really up to them at this point. And then, they'll have until, I think, around the 16 or 15 minute remaining mark. So about another 8 minutes or so, the window will be open. So we'll have to see what happens.
Let's have a quick look. Yeah, sorry, is there something going on?
Oh, yeah, I've just noticed that Gurkan Demir seems to have had some issues, so he's fallen back to P9.
He's driving all alone by himself. I was actually looking at the track map, and there you can also see him, driving alone up there. One big group with Mitchell Green on the lead. Maybe it's a good way to have a quick look what Rafael Bofil is doing over there. He has Ray Bartnikowski behind him, and in front of him Mitchell Green. That's a group that's 10 seconds away from the first group. Is Mitchell Green letting them back?
It's interesting. Mitch Green, I think, was running behind Rafa Bofil for several laps, and so he does appear to be pulling out a gap now.
Yeah, and Rafael also has to pay attention about Ray, because he's only 0.3 seconds behind him. Yep. He's right on his tail right there. Can't make a mistake. But I know Rafael can handle this. He's not afraid to... and while we're saying that Ray goes off, straight into the dirt. That was... I'm not sure where Ray is going. Let's have a quick look what happened over there. We're driving with Ray. Oh, he hits Rafael. And then, he has no choice to go into the dirt over there.
Well, right at that moment there, you're at the crest of the hill, the car is so light, and you just have no grip. So any little upset like that, just even a little little light kiss like that is going to send your car off the track.
Yeah, so we went from 3 drivers to 2 drivers. We have Rafael Bofill and Thor Tulla really fighting for this position number 6. Mitchell Green is gone. He's really 3 seconds ahead. Takes a really long lead in that way.
You know, I've been watching the 2 McDonald's at the lead, P1 and P2, and it is interesting. They are swapping positions every few laps or so. So David McDonald is now in the lead, having taken over from Mark McDonald about 2 or 3 laps ago. It does, raise the question of whether they are cooperating in some way.
And I also see that Adam Wright has lost a little bit the touch with Greg. So it is going to be the McDonald's against Seitz. That's going to be an interesting one to see, because if they are working together, it's going to be difficult for Greg to really come there.
Yeah, Greg's gap though to the McDonald's is now under 3 seconds, and so he seems to be chipping away. Maybe a couple of tenths of a second every lap. Yeah,
we see Rich over there driving slowly. I think he's just letting everybody pass. There's a blue flag position there. But that's good for Greg, because Greg wins on there. Again, 0.2 seconds, he's closer.
Back in the battle for P6, Thor Tullo and Rafa Bofill. Rafa has really closed up to Thor, and so it's I think that's the tightest battle on the track right now.
Yeah, let's have a look how that happened, because Thor was behind him, but here on the straight, on that oval, he really took that spot, takes the outside line, and just full blast goes. Rafael knows that he's not going to make that, and just parks behind him. But that fight is not over yet. I think we'll see some more of that.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to see Thor on track. As you know, Pim, we heard a report this week that Rafa, who lives in Chile, and so it's wintertime down there, came down with the flu. So it's great to see that he's feeling well enough to be able to race tonight.
All right, I just want to verify that was just the flu?
Yes. Of course, people might be worried about COVID, but he was tested multiple times and came back negative. So it does appear to be just the flu. Yep.
Well, I think he recovered quite well, because he's driving also those 59.6 as best time. So he's really, if we were in a pub race, he would be number 1. But we're not. We're here in the SNS USF2K Championship, and you need more for that. You can see that now here at the start, where we see David McDonald and Mark McDonald still close, but Greg is really slowly reeling them in. It's 1.2 right now.
Yeah, it's really impressive just to see this, just consistent chipping away at this lead, and it's with about 18 minutes left to go in the race. There's still plenty of time for Greg to catch the McDonald's, and I think we'll be in for an epic battle when and if that happens.
We're driving along here with Greg Seitz. You see those 2 McDonald's right in front of him. And this is the best way, driving behind someone. Peter, how do you? Because I always find it difficult driving in front. Have to make the path where you're more comfortable in driving.
Oh, I'm totally with you. Just give me something to chase. It seems to keep my mind focused. And Pim, you remember in the Skippy Formula 2 season that you and I both did, more than once, I had unforced errors and spins while serenely in the lead. With nothing to think about.
No, Peter, but to be honest, you have to grow in the Skippy League. It's amazing. If you saw last week, all these new people being so fast, it's a bit scary. You can't miss a week anymore because you need to practice.
Yes. So Mitch Green has gone into the pits for his fuel. And so what's going to be super interesting is when these top three drivers, David McDonald, Mark McDonald, Greg Seitz, go in, and then how they'll come out.
Yeah, because it is now really a 3-pack over here. I'm curious if Greg has something in his pocket right over here.
Yep. And this will really be also Adam Wright's chance. A really good pit stop can give Adam, the extra second boost that he needs to get into this pack.
Yeah, I do see that Adam is 5/10 away from those guys. Oh, and while we are talking about that, Greg is making his move on Mark. Mark says no. Closes that door really nicely. And gives David a little bit of a chance to run away.
Yes.
It's everybody against Greg. But I don't think Greg gives up.
No.
He's going to wait. He knows he's quicker than those guys. But passing is another thing. Alright, and while David is running away, Mark is really holding up Greg right now. Also,
the pit window really will be closing soon.
Oh, well, so we have it over here, Greg. Greg goes into... Whoa, that was a hard stop.
Yep.
And then you see over here how long that pit street is. He has to go take all that way, all the way to his crew over there. Still, and now he is at his stop.
Pim, this makes all the sense in the world for Greg to go in first. It's a classic undercut attempt. And we're nearing the end of the pit window anyway, and so, it'll be super interesting to see now what happens. And if the McDonald's also come in, it could determine the race at that point.
Well, we are looking with David and Mark because we are going to expect that at least one of them is going in. Maybe they have a different strategy. Maybe each a different strategy, just to attack Greg on this part. And here we see him. Yes, Mark McDonald is coming into the pit.
Yep.
Takes a really nice smooth entry. So he's in that pit. And then I'm curious.
We'll see how he comes out relative to Greg.
Well, that's the thing right now. Greg is coming onto the straight right here. And we can see really well. I'm curious if we see the... Yeah, we see him right over there. Mark McDonald, is he going to hold that? It looks like he's going to hold that, but he needs to block a lot. Because the speed of Greg is now really quick. Alright, so that didn't work. That tactic didn't work.
No, it did not. No, it seems like Mark had actually a faster pit stop, and so now we'll see what David McDonald does.
Well, David has to go. David has to come into the pit. He's ready for it, yes. Nicely done. And Adam Wright, he's continuing. That's also good to see because he's now driving on that first spot. So he has a different strategy than David, Mark, and Greg because he's continuing.
This is one of the things that I think is a hallmark of the Sunday Night Skippy League, is managing fuel and fuel strategy and being very, very good at pit entry and exit. And all newcomers to the league, they generally aren't experienced with this, and so there's just tons and tons of...
We see Mark has lost a spot to Greg. They're side by side now here in 3, and he takes that corner. Yeah, we know that Greg can do that really well. David McDonald is still ahead of him.
It has brought this pack together pretty closely. And so now Adam Wright, if he can do very well, he's just coming into the pit lane now for his fuel stop. If he can make up a couple of seconds here on that lead pack, it could be very good for him.
Yeah, the lead pack is now coming onto the oval again, or onto the straight again. And we see Adam still standing still over there, so that's not a good sign. Because they're all going to overtake him right now.
And this is a very long stop for Adam.
He has the possibility, and Mitchell Green is quite far away. But this is really this is going to be the race for David McDonald, Greg Seitz, and Mark McDonald.
Yeah, Adam Wright seems to be having some difficulty in the pit, and is falling now to the end. So something unfortunate. Now he's finally emerging, but there was a disastrously long pit stop for Adam Wright.
Well, I'm glad that he's at least out so that he can win some spots back. But that's going to take a long time. He's now in position 8. There's a Gurken, Raphael, Thorn, all in front of him.
Yeah, very, really unfortunate.
Well, we'll have to ask him after the race what happened over there.
Yes.
We do see that Greg is setting himself up again, together with Mark McDonald. Right there behind David. Oh, he's eating him alive.
Yes.
He's going so close.
And Mark McDonald behind them appears just to be watching the action in front of him. He has a front row seat.
Yeah, I would love to be in that seat. Well, actually, we can do that. Let's have a quick look how that looks from a cockpit from Mark McDonald. Having those two guys right in front of him. Yeah, he's holding back.
You know, Pim, I don't know how you look at it, but when I'm in this situation, you know, the evil side of me is just praying for some contact between those two cars.
No, yeah. I'm not sure if that's evil thinking, but that's what I always think. Where are my free spots? Like, those are my best spots.
I'm admitting I'm evil.
Yeah, I'm honest. That's the difference, I think.
That might be a difference between the Dutch and the Americans.
Yeah, definitely. We call it direct. Oh,
yes.
But it's a really nice fight to see here with David McDonald and Greg Seitz and Mark McDonald.
You could see coming out of turn 11 just how unstable the car gets. You know, lots of opposite lock. Just car just on the hairy edge. Oh, looks like Greg
he's taking that
line.
pass.
Now, if they come in side by side to turn 3, what's super interesting here is if they go side by side through turn 3.
Yeah, David says no. And if David says no, it's no. Look at that. Wow, inside line.
This is exciting. Interesting inside line here through the carousel. Can't quite get overlap.
All right, we have 9 more minutes left. Let's have a quick look at those liveries, because I love it that they have the same livery, but they don't. If you really look closely to them, they all have a different color.
Interesting. You have a better eye for that. You're right. The accent colors are different. And of course, on the rear wings, they're customized to the driver's name.
It's really cool to see those liveries all up and close. Of course, we want to have a quick look at Raphael Beaufil. My favorite livery up here, but that's maybe because I'm a little bit biased and drive the same one.
Yep, in full disclosure, I guess we should tell the audience, Pim, that you and I run the same livery here as Rafa Beaufil, and we practice together, and we're a team together.
There is a big difference. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's Team Jason, but there is a big difference. I'm driving in the back. Raphael is really going forward up here. And while we're talking about him, we still look at David McDonald and Greg Seitz, because they are really making this race. Who's going to be on that top spot in the podium?
You have to be impressed with David McDonald. He's really defending his line well, and yet, you know, they're still keeping, you know, maintaining gap to P3 and Mark McDonald. Of course, Mark is probably being a little bit cautious, just knowing how dangerous some of the turns are here, but it's pretty impressive. Sure. And so, as we're watching this battle between David McDonald, Greg Seitz, Mark McDonald just lurking in the back, just biding his time. We are coming down to 6 minutes remaining. And after they cross the start-finish line here, I think we'll be down to just 6 more laps. So time is running out if Greg Seitz and Mark McDonald want to make moves here. Just to recap the running order, after these top 3, we have Mitch Green in P4. Thor Tullo is running in position 5. About 4 seconds behind him, Rafa Bofill is in P6. And then Gurkan Demir, Adam Wright, Ray Bartnikowski, Rich Butler, and Thomas Fotos. And that runs out your current set of drivers on the track.
All right, we're in.
Meanwhile,
we're in. How many laps do you think we're gonna have? Because it's 5
I
more
think
minutes.
We'll have 5 more laps, I think, after this time around the start-finish line. And it's the pressure that David McDonald must be feeling is pretty intense.
Yeah, and is Greg really going to wait? I don't think so. He's going to go right here on the oval, and he takes that spot because that inside line is the better line. But David doesn't give up and has now the better line. Well, that's in this. This is going to be the move.
Yeah, but now if they come around here,
and you know what I say when David says no, it's no.
Yeah,
he doesn't take it.
But now here, I believe in the carousel, Greg has the better line if he's able to maintain overlap.
And he is having overlap. All right, can we be any closer, guys? Come on! Wow!
And Mark McDonald then has been able to really close up.
Oh yeah, he's waiting for that crash. He's waiting for that. But I don't think it's gonna happen. They're so smooth in this track. Just to have a quick look, and that we also have some other people up here. I do see that the fight with Adam Wright and Gurkan, where Adam takes him over here in the third one.
Yeah, so Adam will be hunting down Rafa Bofill now, but I think he'll run out of laps to catch him.
Oh, we see a crash! We see a crash from David McDonald! Oh no, what happened over there? Greg is gonna go into the pit, David is gonna go into the pit. Does that mean... Oh, and Mark is also out. No way!
Yeah.
Oh, we need to see this. Let's have a look at the replay. Let's go. What on? All right, they went side by side, 3. And those two took them. No way! Wow.
And you know, it's such a dangerous spot right there, and just a tiny miscalculation. Such a close battle. You know, when you come out of that turn, if you're a little over anxious on throttle, you'll lose the rear end there and point into the inside.
David McDonald is right now going into the pits with a complete broken car, and Mitchell Green, yes, Mitchell Green, the one that started as last, as now the lead.
Yes. Maybe it's karma. You know, I think he showed such amazing sportsmanship at the start of this feature race, and maybe the gods are rewarding him for that.
Look at that. Tortilla on second place, Rafael Bofill on third place. Go Rafael.
Incredible.
Oh, this is awesome. It's really bad for the long fight that we saw, but great to see Thor and Rafael this far up.
Yes. You know, David McDonald's the only one who really survived that 3-car incident with Greg Seitz and Mark McDonald in the middle of being towed.
So David McDonald, he is quicker than the persons in front of him, Rafael and Thor. But we're nearly to the end.
Yes. And David McDonald would have 4 seconds, more than 4 seconds to make up to get it onto a podium spot. So it'll be tough with just, I believe, only 2 laps to go.
Wow. While we're talking about that, Mitchell Green is just solid, taking a lead, 16 seconds. Oh, this is going to look very good for the championship for Mitchell.
Yes.
Took that victory on the oval, and he's going to take the victory on the roval as well.
Yes, really fantastic start to the season for him.
How long is actually the season? Do you know that?
It'll be a 12 race season, 12-week season,
Right.
and it's following the same schedule of racetracks as the official races.
And talk about free spots. Adam Wright was really getting worried, and now suddenly is in that 5th position. Knows that Greg is not going to score that much, or he's going to score less.
Yep. I believe we are on our last lap here now.
All right.
Boy, who would have predicted, Pim, that we would see this kind of finish?
Yeah, I really was hoping for a nice fight on the finish line, but I do have to say it's the karma from Mitchell Green that definitely comes back. Funny thing is, he still gained speed on Thor, so it was 15 seconds. It's now 17 seconds, so he's not holding back, and this is going to be his one to go. Look at that, comes over the finish line. Checkered flag. Wow, awesome to see that happening. We see some lapped cars over here, and then we're waiting for Thor.
Yeah, he's just getting back onto the oval in the front straight.
Yeah, we see him right over here together with Rafael Bofill, also making that finish line. Adam Wright right behind him over here. Grabs the points, the necessary points to stay on track. We have Gurken Demir on 6th. Greg 7th.
Great finish for Gurken Demir.
Yeah. I think there should have been him more. I expected more from him, to be honest, on the roval. But a big disappointment for Mark McDonald, Greg Seitz, who really were in that lead. We see now that everybody has come over the line. Let's see if we have some results that we can show. I don't think they're in right yet. Man, what a race!
What a race! It was just action, and battles all the way through. And just supremely high quality driving, especially the top 3 of the McDonald's and Greg Seitz, and then just unpredictable to see that incident. And now we have our winner, who also just ran such a great race, starting from the pits at the very back of the pack for the feature, Mitch Green, blazing all the way through the entire field to take the win at the checkered flag.
Yeah, that's amazing. Really nice victory from Mitchell. Too bad for Rich Butler, who started as first in this feature. I was hoping he could do a little bit more, but some accidents really brought him to that 10th position.
Yep.
But
he ran some very good times, though. In fact, everyone is really covered by I think less than 2 seconds. Pretty impressive speed for the entire field.
No, it's definitely was a nice race to watch. I want to thank David McDonald and Mark McDonald and Greg Seitz, because it was really exciting to see that race coming up.
Yep.
Bit of a disappointment that it ends like this.
Yep. Pim, we do have Mitch Green in the willing to come in for an interview. Should we bring him in?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Let's have a quick look. I'm really curious.
Hello, Mitch. This is Peter Lee, and I'm here with Pim Luth. Congratulations. Mitch. I think I need to unmute you. Hi, Mitch. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Great. Congratulations. What a race.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
So let's start at the beginning. What happened at the feature race? Why weren't you at the start of the race?
So I just simply missed the start. I miscalculated. I was looking at my fuel, and I was looking at an incident from the sprint race, and I just straight up missed the start. So I lost the benefit of the mistake I made at the end of the sprint race, which was I didn't fuel enough. So
Thank you for saying that. You're making us, Pim and me, sound like we actually have a clue, because we had guessed that you ran out of fuel. But we were giving you the credit that maybe out of sportsmanship you decided to start from the pits on purpose instead of starting on the pole.
No, unfortunately not.
We're gonna keep it anyway. We're gonna
Yes.
call it. We're gonna call it karma.
We're still gonna nominate you for the Good Sportsman award.
So Mitchell, what went to your head when you were driving over there? We saw that you overtook a couple of people, but you were never going to be on the front. What went to your mind when you were actually overtaking the three in front?
It was confusion, I guess. For some reason, I thought I was on a good pit strategy, but I ended up losing 10 seconds to them in front. So as soon as I came out and realized how far behind I was, I just wanted to put in some good solid laps. And then I turned a corner and saw bits of carbon fiber spread throughout the track. So, and then they came over our team radio apologizing to each other. So,
Yeah.
kind of put two and two together.
I think it must have been sort of a new experience now this season, racing this format, where you have to worry about fuel. How has that gone for you?
Well, it didn't go well in the sprint race.
Yeah.
I needed to double check my math, I guess. Yeah, no, because it's a time race, sometimes it might go an extra lap, and that's
Right.
essentially what happened, right?
Yep.
So, I think in the future I'm gonna play it much safer and add maybe an extra lap or two just to be sure.
Well, for your information, I think it's Greg's fault that you ran out of fuel in that sprint, because we were watching, and indeed, Greg, crossed the start-finish line with, just in time to extend.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I said that to him. I said, you must have just crossed the line. Yeah, so.
Well, awesome win, Mitchell. I really want to congratulate you. Your second win already. We're just on the half. We just started and already have some great advantage in the championship. You are the leader on the moment, so we do expect a lot more. Is there any shout out do you want to give before we go to some other people?
Yeah, I want to shout you guys out for the broadcast. I want to shout out Sunday Night Skippy for putting on this league. Shout out my team, Greg especially. He did the set again this week. And my family if they're still watching.
Well, fantastic. And, congratulations again. I think you were, you really did, drove a great race, and, sure, there can be a little bit of luck with the incident, but I think it's still a well-deserved win. So congrats.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. We here in the booth have also Mark McDonald.
Yes, Mark. So,
hey guys.
All right.
We had so much fun watching you and David and Greg battling like that. It looked like you were just lurking behind, watching and waiting to see what would happen with Greg and David, and then the worst happened. So tell us about it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I first would say congrats to Mitch for taking that win, especially after I think he started from the pit lane. So that was quite a race for him to avoid incidents and just kind of hang in there. I like to think that he didn't just take it because of missing that incident, but also, he was was actually catching us when we were battling. So if we
Sure.
battled for another like 8 minutes with him catching a second a lap, then there was a chance that he could have caught up there. But yeah, we just I got out to an early lead, and I was getting down to 59 flat, 59 ones pretty consistently. And I knew that as soon as we cleared, the other traffic, I knew that Greg was going to be coming up. So I was looking back in my relative, and I saw him 8 seconds back, 6 seconds back, 5 seconds back, and I was like, okay, well, this is clearly heading one direction, and maybe we can stall this out a little bit. I got squirrely coming back into the oval, and
Mm-hmm.
and almost lost it, and luckily just stayed. Dave wasn't so close to me, and so I just let him go by, and I was hoping that he could maybe run like 58.8s or 58.7s, because he's a little bit quicker than me, and he got down, I think, into 8s and 9s, but Greg still obviously caught up, and then knew that he was going to, as soon as he caught up and was battling with me, I figured he'd try to undercut, so I tried to get out right the second lap after that, so that I could block him as much as possible and try to keep him behind. He made a sweet move going around the outside on me, and then taking me on the inside of that hairpin. That was just a master class of how to get that done. And so did a great job there. And then I was just trying to keep up really with the two of them. I knew that in this car especially, it's so easy to get in too hot on the brakes. It's so easy to just get a little bit sideways and lose a bunch of time. So I was trying to keep up and just take my opportunity if they did go too wide, that I could maybe pop inside. And I tried that. I tried that once with in one of the many times that Greg was trying to get by Dave. And then eventually in that final bit, I actually got a wheel inside of him, or at least my spotter said like car left, and I pulled out, of course, because there definitely wasn't space. And I think that the two of them just kind of coming over that blind crest, you can't really tell where the outside of the corner is.
Right.
So Dave squeezed Greg down a little bit, and Greg was a little bit wide because he had me on the inside. I like to think he was spooked. I bet he wouldn't say. Unfortunately they came together, and when I saw them coming together, I was like, okay, like, whoa up, there's plenty of space behind, just let them take care of this. And I thought they were done. So I pulled, I accelerated and went to the right, and then they both kind of jumped that way, and I nearly missed it. But in this car, I don't know, what kind of pasta noodles they make the drive shafts out of, but they caught the left rear of my left rear tire, and it was just, when you lose one of those drive shafts, it's impossible to get the car back. So then I had to tow and take the race. But it was fantastic running so close with both of them, and really fighting hard, and trying to pick up kind of some of Greg's lines especially.
Well, Mark, it was, I can't tell you how much fun it was. I mean, we were on the edge of our seats watching the three of you guys go lap after lap like that. And, it was just unpredictable what would happen. And, I think the kind of strategies that you were all on, including, when you timed your fuel stops, was just incredibly fascinating. And so on that, I know that fuel stops are possibly somewhat a new thing for you guys. How have you been finding that element of this league?
I think it's awesome. I've raced in leagues before where there's formula cars, that lower level formula cars that need fuel stops. So I'm relatively familiar with the process. It's super hard to get, especially this pit entrance is basically like yellow cone, and that's it. There's no markers to slow down. But
Yeah.
I found it pretty. I found it pretty okay. It's just a little bit. What's great about this league is that the fuel limit gives a really wide window. So you
Right.
can pit 3 laps, 4 laps, 5 laps early, undercut somebody, and get out in front of them, versus a lot of other leagues I've been in, the undercut is worth basically nothing. And there's only like a 3 or 4 lap window to pit. So it makes it a lot more interesting, the strategy in this. And especially when you've got, me and Dave and Greg and Mitch are all on the same team, of course, but me and Dave were obviously kind of working together, trying to keep Greg behind. It's kind of how you have to be in the team with your brother. And he, and so as soon as Greg dove for the pits, I made sure Dave was aware on our chat, and I said, okay, I'll come in the next one, and he was like, yeah, I'll stay out and get another lap in. So it definitely helped. Ultimately, like, it was going to be. Dave actually said after the pit stops and we were all battling, he said, okay, it's just 8 more minutes worth of hard, aggressive blocking to try to keep you behind. It's like that was going to go on for a long time,
Right.
if it didn't come to tears.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure that was going to feel like a long 8 minutes. It's two things. First, during the broadcast, Pim and I realized we weren't 100% sure that you and David were brothers.
Finally,
So
you
we
asked the
know.
question. Come on, bring up the question.
And the second is, just the question of whether the two of you were working together. And it did look to us like you guys were, and that, in fact, occasionally you were even using a leapfrog maneuver. Was that actually the case?
yeah, for sure. I mean, Dave and I are twin brothers, so we've known each other for a while, and we both raced go-karts for a dozen years when we were kids. So we've
Wow.
this kind of work together, try to make sure that the team comes out ahead, is pretty common for us, and we try to use that kind of anytime that we can. In this case, we were lightly kind of conspiring against Greg, because that's kind of what you have to do when you're up against somebody who's that talented, and try to stay ahead. But usually, the entire team is collaborating, as needed. We're the kind of team that works together and collaborates so that the team overall can win, rather than taking aggressive dive bombs on each other, trying to prove who's the
Sure.
best in the team. Like, I know that there's probably a lot of scouts that are watching this broadcast, but generally speaking, there's not a whole lot of competitive scouts out there. So
Right.
it's better to work together and have fun as a team, and that's kind of our focus.
Well,
Well,
that's definitely
and-
what you guys did.
yeah.
Sorry, Peter, but I really
Yeah.
wanna thank you guys also for the openness of bringing everybody into the practice, sharing your setup and your knowledge, which that really helps me. Like, I'm not driving the race, but I wanna do better, and I think you guys have the same goal as the Sunday Night Skippy League. To get better in a decent way and have a real league mentality. So that's awesome. Mark, before we end, do you have anybody you want to give a shout out to, or any last thoughts that you want to bring?
I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. For sure, anyone that is interested in running the league, sign up with Sunday Night Skippies. It's an awesome time, and we do a Tuesday night practice for this Thursday night race, which is always a blast, and really helps to. I mean, it helps me to learn from Greg and from Mitch, especially because those two guys are especially fast, and really kind of refine my craft and my technique, and get some close wheel to wheel racing with damage off, which is kind of a tiny secret that we use, because that just helps so much in your ability to practice. And I want to thank Mitch and Dave and Greg and everyone else in the team that's playing along with this and helping out. And I want to send a special shout out to my wife, who I'm sure is actively watching upstairs. No, I'm kidding. She's probably gone to bed at this point. But if she ever watches this, thanks for watching. Love you, and have a great night.
All right, Mark. Thanks very
Fantastic.
much. Appreciate it. All
Great.
right.
And so now, Pim, we have our P3
Yeah.
finisher, Rafa Bofil.
All right, let's bring
Let me
bring him in the booth.
Rafa Bofil, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Rafa, we want to congratulate you, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
P3.
what went through your mind? Was this what you thought of when you started this race? Was coming onto the podium, number 3 position?
Yeah, I can believe it.
No, you did really well. We were watching you, and together with Gurken Demir, were some nice fights going on.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts when you suddenly saw everybody in front of you crash?
Oh, just continue.
Just continue. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was very stressful that race. My shoulders hurts a lot, but oh, I enjoyed a lot this race. Really,
Yeah.
really.
Well, we did the same thing. We saw you you're driving yeah, just very solid, like we know that you can do in the skip, but it wasn't really known yet that you could also do that in the USF 2000. But it's clear with this podium that you're going to be one of the guys that we have to pay more attention about, because for the championship you do really good points. We're just actually looking at the replay, and I see your pit stop. That was a close one, huh? Nearly hitting that wall.
Let me tell you, that pit stop was my first entry on that pit. I forget totally. In the practice, try to make a good pit stop.
So,
Well, this one worked for you.
Yeah. So
It's
Rafa,
interesting.
this track is so fast, and yet it looked like you were busy the entire race. You had someone to battle with the entire time. What was that like? Just because you were in close quarters with cars, for at least half the race.
Peter, I couldn't understand completely your answer to your question. Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I was just saying, you were so busy racing against other cars so closely. And
yeah.
So what was that like?
Yeah.
Okay. Rafa, I have a way more important question. How much and what are you gonna drink right for this this third spot? What are you gonna drink?
No, it looks like we've lost Rafa.
All right, I think he's already going for his drinks,
Yes.
because that's well deserved, definitely.
For sure.
I am really curious how it is with Thor. I don't see him coming here in the booth, which is really a shame, because he deserved to be up here. Big shout out for him. I already was mentioning him in Charlotte, but up here again, second spot. I'm really curious how that is for the championship. It's gonna make a lot of points happening.
It is. I'm now really looking forward to the next couple of races. The next two races are on classic road courses, pretty technical. With I think Lime Rock is next and Oran Park next. It's going to be super interesting. In a way, they're more classic cars, classic tracks that these USF 2000 cars are suited for, and it'll be very, very interesting to see if Mitch Green can maintain his overall season standing lead.
Yeah, and is Adam Wright coming back to that as well? Because he had some small.
Yep.
I'm curious what happened. We should ask him the next time when he's in the booth what happened with that pit stop, because that was where he lost most of his time.
Yes.
But no, it was an awesome race. Have some good things to learn. Seen many nice overtakes. I'm hoping to be there next practice session again, so that we can learn some more. Let's have a look.
It looks like Rafa has reconnected, and so maybe we can finish off with him. Rafa, are you there?
Yeah, it seems
Rafa, you lost connection, but you're back for the most important question, because that one you didn't answer. What are you gonna drink on this third spot?
Milk.
Milk. Look at that. That is now a typical Rafael Bofill answer. I love it. Rafael, thank you very much for coming to the booth. I really appreciate it that you're adding some value to our race, not only on the track, but now also here on the booth. So thank you very much. And we're looking forward to the next race. See what you do over there.
Thank you. See you around. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. All right, Peter, you know how it goes. This is the last moments. Do you have any final thoughts about this race, maybe coming up race? What are your final thoughts?
Well, I have to say I've become a fan of this format. I think, having point scoring in the heat and in the feature, and then reverse gridding on the feature, limiting the fuel so that everyone has to worry about pit stops. I think the format is just great, and it's just really adding up to great racing. It's giving the really fastest guys a chance to show what they can do, but it's also kind of mixing things up. And so I think this format is going to be just stupendously good for the classic road course circuits that we're coming up to next.
Yeah, I'm also very happy that we go to those circuits. I do hope that Peter, we're still gonna see you over here in the commentator booth, because I can't miss you right now. So maybe all this excitement, I can convince you to do some more races in the booth.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss my contract here, because
Yeah.
look, I had so much fun in the Tuesday night practice driving with these guys. This car was just a blast on this track. So, it was tempting, but yeah, I love also just watching and, talking about the race with you, Pim.
Yeah,
super fun.
and you're very well. You do that very well. I had a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for watching, and yeah, I hope to see you next week.
Fantastic.